What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're checking out Union Arena Jujutsu Kaisen market prices. The set has been out for just over a week now. I think is a good time to just check TCG Player and see what prices are doing. And even from the get-go, like just looking at the sealed product, prices have definitely changed. So this is really interesting. So this set didn't have signature cards. You didn't have the voice actors with their signatures on any of the cards in the set. We did have a serialized 3-star card that went up to 100 serialized cards though. So they added that in because of the lack of signatures, and yeah, very interesting. I know prices before the set came out were way higher than this, right? Probably a couple of weeks before release, if you wanted to pre-order a case, you were looking at paying $1,300 US or $1,400 US in most cases. Like that seemed to be sort of what the market price was like a week or two before release if you wanted to try and secure a case. As you can see now, you can get a case from under $1,000 US. So what happened there? Why have they dropped so much? I think with this set where there was a serialized card in it, a lot of people ordered a lot, and because it's Jujutsu Kaisen, like you compare it to, this is the third English set we're getting. We've had Hunter x Hunter and Bleach. Given like anime that's currently airing, I know Bleach is doing really well, but I think out of the three, this is more of a mainstream I mean, the other two are, but I feel like this is just more popular at this point in time, right? So I think there was a lot of stores that probably ordered a lot of product for this, hoping for it to sell well because it is JJK. And basically there are heavy allocations. So basically if a store ordered 5 cases, 10 cases, they got allocated less than they ordered. So maybe they ordered 5 cases and only got 1 from the supplier. I seem to sort of hear that about a month or two before the set come out, that the people kind of expecting allocations have got quite heavy allocations on this. And then there's the fact that with Hunter x Hunter and Bleach, we had like a couple of waves of products. As far as I'm aware, I'm not sure if that's going to be the case with JJK. I don't think I've heard from anyone that they're getting extra waves. And if this set does get reprinted, there won't be any of those serialized cards in. What's highly unlikely, because they've done it in Japanese Union Arena where they've reprinted a set. And when they've done that, they are missing those serialized cards. It gets reprinted without the serial cards, which I actually think is kind of a good idea. It makes sense from a card game perspective. Like if the prices for that set for those cards are extremely high and the supply isn't meeting the demand, reprint it so players can get their hands on the cards they need without having to pay, you know, crazy prices. And the collectors that wanted the chase and things, they just have to get that first print, that first wave. Like it's serialized cards, you know, there's only 100 of these serialized cards out there. I think that's quite a fair way to do it, and quite a clever way to do it, because I feel like it works for both sides, right? It works for both people. So there were a lot of people saying, you know, if you want to buy these, they might be investable because of, you know, the first print. If this gets reprinted, you know, they're not going to have a chance at a serialized card. If you've got this first wave, first print of JJK, then, you know, there's going to be some value there. Now, who knows what will happen with that, because as you can see, prices have come down, like from $1,400 US to already under $1,000. So I don't know what happened with that. I mean, you can even see it here. It didn't go quite as high as that on TCG Player for some reason, in terms of actual sold. So let's just take a look and see. So when did we have the official release? Was the 22nd, I believe. So yeah, you've got, I mean, there's a case there, $1,500 US, and someone bought that as a pre-order on the 6th of November for the set to come out on the 22nd. Again, another one, 14, that's pretty close to 15. 1,300. So you can see from those pre-orders, and then suddenly we sort of had a big drop here. So maybe, I guess at this point, some stores were starting to get their products. This is after release, I suppose, as well. So they've definitely got it at this point, and maybe just were, you know, selling it on as a sealed case for profit. And then, yeah, we've just seen prices come down since. Like, we are now at, yeah, $950 if you want to pick up a case. And there's plenty around that price, right? Plenty around that price. Obviously, only if you're in the US, unlike me. I'm in the UK, and in Europe, we do not get this set whatsoever. I am expecting to get a booster box to open for a video later in the next few days. So, yeah, I'm excited to get it and open it. But, yeah, always going to get it a bit late, you know, being the other side of the world from where it actually gets released, right? So, again, booster box prices, I assume they've done the same thing. I assume they've been very high. Yeah. Nearly $100, and it's dropped all the way down to 60. So I feel like this is a classic case of just FOMO hype. I mean, we get this in every trading card game. Like, there's so much excitement for brand new sets, even for brand new TCGs, right? I think there's always so much excitement there, and most of that builds up before the set is released and on release day. And then you start to see a bit of a drop off. But in this case, in JJK's case, we've seen quite a big drop off, in my opinion. I don't know I feel like it's too much of a drop off to be like, oh, everyone got really harsh allocations and there's not enough product to meet the demand. There clearly is, because prices would not be falling like this. So yeah, it's just really unfortunate if you ordered before release, but I think that's what happens. There's like this fear involved with, you're not going to be able to get it, right? With heavy allocations, if you want the first print, that's going to be your only way, you know, getting a chance at that serial card. I feel like all this leads into that fear and doubt, and people wanting to just pay whatever they can to secure a case, to secure boxes. And I get it, you know, some people genuinely don't mind, right? They are happy to pay extra and get the product on release day. And I get it. It kind of feels more exciting when you have it for release day and you can sort of experience that. You can see it online with everyone else. Everyone else is opening their product rather than waiting a week later just to get it cheaper. And I guess in this case, like, you probably thought it wouldn't be cheaper. That's probably why you pre-ordered and paid a little bit more, is because it seemed like it was going to be so scarce, just based off of what everyone was saying, what retailers and suppliers were saying. And it's just a shame this can happen quite often, but you never know. Like, you could have pre-ordered at $1,300 and then it could have come out and just, there's still a slight chance that it could have continued to go up a little bit when people realize, you know, if in this case the supply wasn't there. But yeah, it is what it is. It's still quite common at the end of the day. The more likely scenario is prices are high, and then as the set comes out, prices start to kind of go down in price. Let's just look at the cards though, and we've obviously got here the serialized Itadori. So as you can see, you got 100 here, and then you'll have 1, 27, 50, whatever number it is. And yeah, there's two listings on TCG Player, $7.5 grand and 10,000. So I don't think, we're probably not going to have any sales data on this on TCG Player. This, I assume, was a mix up with the listings. This probably would have been the non-serialized version. So you can still pull this freestyle without the serial on it. So that would have just been a listing mix match. I don't know if any of these have sold, but when I've seen people try to sort of put them up for sale, they are kind of around these figures. I don't know if any have actually sold though. I have been super busy at the moment, so I have not managed to track this card. So if you have seen any, let me know down below. Let everyone know down below in the comments if one of these have sold and what the price was. Now, I think most of the sales for this kind of card will happen privately on like Union Arena Facebook group or Discord, things like that. I don't think I could find any on eBay, but maybe there has been one on there. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be 100 serialized copies of this card. Do I think this is a fair price? Would I pay this? No. Like, personally, I would not pay $7,500 for this card where there is 100 copies of it. and there's no signature on it, no, that would that's not what I would do with that money. Will other people pay that? I don't know. There might be some people out there that would rather spend their money that way. But do I think this will go up in price from 7,500? Do I think long term this is a card to invest in? Personally, I don't think it would be at all. I think 100 copies, no way. They're like, at the end of the day, in Japanese Union Arena, you've got pen signed serialized cards, not necessarily for this card and character, but for other sets. And some of them will not push this number, right? And there are a lot less copies of those cards. I know they're in Japanese, not English, but I just can't see. The thing with serialized cards, and coming from Weiss Schwarz, they've done it in the same way where some sets they can't get signatures. They just chuck a serial number on there. It's usually 0 to 10, and it's usually across different characters. So not quite, maybe 100 in total, but probably not far off, maybe 50 or 60, but you have different characters to pick from. When they first done that, prices were very high on Sword Art Online, and then they just kept doing it because they lost a lot of licensing and prices just tanked. Like, the novelty of a serialized card wears off the more sets that have the serialized card in. If Union Arena did this with just this card and just for the first year, this was the only serialized card they'd done it in, then in my opinion, it's probably going to hold a bit more value, because if you want a Union Arena serialized card, that's the only card for you to get. But they do it in multiple sets, multiple volumes. You know, we've got a JJK Volume 2 that was announced. That is coming soon. In English, they've already confirmed that. They don't get signatures. They'll be doing the same thing as this. Do I think that the market cap, so if you've got 100 of these, then technically in the 3-star serialized Yuji Itadori, you've got $750,000 in just 100 of these cards. I know that's like market cap, like it isn't necessarily a term used for trading cards, but I think like reaching nearly 1 million on 100 copies of this card, it's just, in my opinion, what would I pay for this? If I wanted it, I'd probably pay $1,000 for it, but I don't personally want it that much anyway, so that's probably maybe a little bit on the low side, because it's not something that I'm chasing after. If it was, maybe 2,000, but yeah, 7,500 for me, that would be a no. But obviously some people, maybe we'll see one sold. Maybe I would expect this to sell for more money around the first week of release, then I would expect to see this card selling in 6 months time. That's all I'm saying. I just same with most new sets, prices are high at the start, generally come down as more sets come out. People start wanting these other sets and their attention comes away from this. Right, anyway, I feel like I'm just rambling rather than actually talking about all the different cards and prices of the set. I feel like I'm going way in too deep on this video. Right, looking at, so yeah, you've got the 3-star non-serialized. I was actually, to be honest, I was quite surprised. I know, this is a 3-star, this is beyond a case hit, but because we don't have signatures, and this is the same card you can get the serialized version of. I don't know, I think I saw people trying to sell this for $500, $600 on release. We've only got 3 sales on TCG Player, and they're all around 400. I think 400, yeah, I mean, it's fair, but I feel like because there's a serialized card, it almost takes away from this card, because you're going to hit this and you're immediately going to look for the serial number, and then it's going to be a bit disappointing. But I don't know, yeah, it feels like it's not as special anymore as a 3-star card. I kind of wish that the serialized card was different to the 3-star. But yeah, let's I think beyond a case here, the price that this is, you would expect it to kind of be this price. But yeah, I just don't think I'm that big of a fan of the card, perhaps. I think it's the text. I just think I don't like the text. It's the same with these. So we don't have signatures on any of the 2-stars as well. We've got these rainbow foil effects on these ones, which they kind of did at the start of Union Arena, as this was some of the first sets we got. They did these rainbow cards, which, yeah, I mean, they're still nice, but I think they've massively improved since then. So yeah, $135 This is a case hit. This is pretty much in line with what I was predicting for this set, that the expected value, the EV from opening a case in terms of those hits is going to be very low, very negative. Like even if you open a case, if you paid, I mean, I know the cases are $950, but if you paid like $1,200, $1,400, there was a $1,500 sale for a case, and you get lucky enough to hit the 3-star, because you might not even get the 3-star in a case. That's not even making a dent to the amount you've paid for the case. And realistically, you're more likely just to hit a 2-star, right? So you're more likely just to hit one of these, which, let's be honest, on average, you're probably looking at $100. You got 2 over 100 and the rest are below 100. So you're looking at $100 from a case hit. Again, that is painfully low. And I know it's not always about the value that you can get out of a box, like out of a case. You know, you're opening it maybe to collect, just to have fun and enjoy that, but you've definitely got to take that into consideration. Like, if you can get a set or get a case where it's quite likely the expected value is returned, and although that means you've got to do a lot of work, you got to sort out play sets, you got to sell the big hits, you still had a shot at maybe pulling something bigger. And obviously in this case you could pull something bigger. You could hit a serialized card worth a couple of thousand, right? You know, or 7,500, but it's not selling. So you could hit that, but even then, yeah, your chances of hitting that extremely low. You're much more likely to come away with hitting a 2-star worth $100, or if your luck is in your favor, you might hit this and you still come away not in a good place. Let's just see which of these were selling the most. So yeah, Yuji Itadori on the 2-star seems to be most popular in sales, and then Gojo on the next one. Let's just look at prices, see what happened since release. One really cheap here for 90, but yeah, 140, 160, went up to 170 at one point, kind of fluctuated, had gone down again, 135, back up to 160, 125 now. The cheapest as of recording this video is 135, and then after that is near mint? Yeah, after that it is about 170 is the next cheapest, and there's a few at that price. Again, same with Gojo by the looks of it, same sort of price, but let's just see. Yeah, same sort of figures. So yeah, they're the 2-stars, and then we've got these 2-stars. I think I actually like these more, even though they're cheaper. I like the gold. The only thing I really don't like about the cards is just the font they've used for the gold on the name. Same on the rainbows. Like it just is that Arial? It just looks like Arial, or like something super basic. I don't know. I just not feeling it. But I mean, yeah, Volume 2 is coming out anyway, and the cards and designs, there'd been a lot of time in Japanese from Volume 1 to Volume 2, so again, we're getting it sort of ahead of schedule, I guess, to help with playing and decks and things. But yeah, let's just look at some of the 1-star rarities and just check the prices. We'll look at best selling. So we've got Sukuna's Finger, common 1-star. I bought this in Japanese and was very disappointed because that was my hit of the box in Japanese. And obviously it's like not even like some sort of full art card or a character. It's literally just a finger. But as you can see by the price, I think this is a very playable card. Hence why it's sitting at like $30 and is the best selling 1-star card in the set. The rest of these designs there I absolutely love, like this one especially. I know it's not, some people aren't a fan of this double kind of art, but I really like it. I think as a card that looks really, really cool. The fact that they've changed the colors up on the repeated part of the character on the card. I don't know, I just really like it. Let's just check prices and see what they've done on this one. So quite a few sales, maybe quite playable because it is the second best selling. But I mean, by the looks of it, $30, still $30. So that hasn't really changed that much. But yeah, obviously these 1 stars you're getting in every box, obviously that does add up. If you're buying a case, that is going to add up. But at the end of the day, you know, at best you're hitting a $30 card. You're not going to get that same 1 star $30 card in every booster box. And even if you did, you know, you're still coming off quite a net negative on the whole case. So yeah, when you compare it to, you know, Hunter x Hunter, Bleach, when they first came out, there was a lot more value there from what you would pull typically on average compared to JJK, which is exactly what I expected, given that there were no signatures. You know, and then you've got the serialized card, which is really hard to pull. Like, you know, there's only 100 copies, so depending on how many cases they print, which they won't announce that, but yeah, you could work it out if they announce that, what the odds are. But it's still going to be, you know, even if they did, it's still going to be ridiculously slim. You know, maybe you can do it opening 10 cases, maybe you can open 100 and not get it. Like, you know, it is just luck at the end of the day when it's beyond case hits. And lastly, if we look at the SRs, you know, these are typically going to have some playable cards. Usually one or a couple of them will hold some value, considering you're getting quite a few SRs just per booster box in general. And then, yeah, most best selling SR is this one here at $25. So this is probably going to be quite a playable one, and it seems like prices have just bounced between $25 and $30 by the looks of things. So that is your most expensive SR. Again, all of that is going to add up to that expected value. If you open a whole case, you will have to spend a lot of time sorting through your cards, listing these things, maybe selling play sets and things like that. But yeah, overall in general, I think this is what I expected. This is what I was expecting. Although I don't think it was going to drop off as harshly as it did in terms of sealed prices. I guess I believed that the product was going to be quite scarce based on, you know, what was said a week or two before release by suppliers and things. I think if the expected value, I don't know, I just thought it would take more time to catch up. Like, I thought, even with the supply issues, I still thought the expected value would be quite low. You know, those 2 stars doesn't make sense for them to be as expensive as the signed Bleach 2 stars, the signed Hunter x Hunter 2 stars, right? But yeah, I thought maybe it would take a little while to catch up in terms of the expected value turns out to be quite low, and then sealed prices drop off a bit slower. But they seem to react extremely quick in this case. You know, we've had a massive drop off in price. People paying nearly $100 a booster box straight away down to $63 a week after release. So yeah, that is JJK's market price a week from release. Did you manage to pick some up? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I will be opening a box in a couple of days time, and yeah, who knows, let's see what we can pull. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.